Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Evening with Delenn. We're just putzing around in the Dakar 73 world, and we're just going to be doing a little bit of taking down some dirt and leveling things out this evening. Nothing too strenuous or exciting. So, if you just want to chill, hang out for a little bit, that sounds great. Otherwise, come and go as necessary, etc., etc. And we're just going to go do a little bit of taking down. So, I decided to throw in the towel on the mob farm for now, at least. It does not like me. There's a lot of lighting up and stuff that I had not counted on, and I sort of opened a rat's nest that was not intentional. So I have far more chaos than I really wanted to deal with, and I'm not going to let myself put up with that. So instead, I'm just going to go and take dirt down, which is nice and safe. And we will see what we can do regarding the other possibilities later, if there is a later. I'm not sure whether I want to do a mob farm in the sky over top of some water, or whether or not I want to figure it out later on. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. Looking at there's something I was coming in for. I've got a mess to clean up over here. Some of the project box stuff from the sky. That's that. We're just gonna head across the way to this section over here and just tear down a few more layers. Shouldn't take too long. I did a cheaty poke through the ground, and it's nice and thick, so I don't have to worry about falling into a cave, which is fine. Paper, a couple of rockets, because that's all I got. Minching myself forward a little bit here and there with a couple of pieces of paper now and then, and we eventually will get some rockets. I've never actually had more than a full stack in my possession at one time. We will slowly make our way through. Okay. This way, there. Alright. We have excess food. Some additional food. We all know there's no such thing as excess around, right? But need one of those fairly quickly. So let's just head in, have a nap, and then take off. Can't fly the shovel. There we go. Wow. Brainiac. So I spent the afternoon playing with a new toy. And that new toy is that I picked up a copy of the Pop Culture edition of a game called Geek Out. Basically all it does is just give us topics, and it gives a goal to try and get to with regards to how many, in this case it's all movies and TV and some video game stuff, some comic book stuff, that kind of thing. It says on the box, pop culture. Normally it's if you're playing it as a board game, or not board game, but a party game with friends, you'd be betting on how close you can get to the goal. So it sort of default suggests how many you think you can do, and then you would bet, not a yes or no type answer, but it would bet how many you think you can do. And but in the way that I've set it up in the game here, what happens as a command is someone will end up typing Geek Out, and then it will roll the die to get us a number from 1 to 6, and depending on sure can do. Minecraft sounds. Better. There we go. Yep. So, for example, their Fantastic 12 Fox just ran it, and it's wants us to try and name 4 films in which any character is a chef. And now, being honest, I do not know the answer to the majority of these, and they are not printed on the card. It's actually how you do it. So if we can't do it, there's a delay, and we can change the question up to once every 5 minutes. That's the way I've got it set right now. So, for example, that one, where at least one character is a chef. Now, when it says films, it also means if you name a film franchise that has more than one movie in the series, you can only name the franchise series once. But I'm picking 2 of them I can think of off the top of my head in this particular instance, and maybe Fantastic Fox or someone else can name 2 more. But I'm thinking of Ratatouille is one of them, and Julie and Julia is another one. Battelle and the Muppet Movie. There you go. So we've got that one. I mean, depending on your point of view, you may or may not consider Chocolat to qualify as well. That's the other thing too, is we may be able to name movies that don't necessarily qualify on the surface, and we can be like, oh, that doesn't count, and you can say why or why you think it does or doesn't. So we've made that one. So then, earliest we can change it up is in about 5 minutes, approximately. I mean, there's no real timer on it, but it'll actually, if we try to run it early, it'll actually say it's not ready yet. It doesn't tell you how long, but it'll just tell you it's not ready yet. The how long timer part was a bit of bigger pain for me to get tweaked out. I can do it if I was a coder, but in the methods I had available, it wasn't an easy thing to do. So I just got it counting behind the scenes. Yeah, so that's how that new one works. And it's one that I'm not necessarily saying that any one particular person has to answer. I mean, there's a possibility of adding, as I mentioned this morning, third-party points to that one, which may at this point interrupt with the flow, so I'm just sort of taking it in baby steps to see how people want to address it, and see whether or not we want third-party points. At the moment, I don't have any other reasons for third-party points, so we'll have to see how that goes. I mean, I can potentially put drops as having a certain set of points, but that's hosted by 2 different locations, so we'll have to see. There's plenty of things we could do. At the moment, though, we're playing Minecraft. That's the key here. Clear space. I'm just flattening out a little bit because I'd like to build a monastery. I didn't take the time at lunch to dig through VODs, just fighting off a bit of a sinus-related headache. And so, didn't really feel like staring at VODs over and over to try and get the dimensions of the church that we need for the monastery. But there is a lot of information available on the web of what natural places like monasteries would have had. That another piece we can always move on to if need be was throwing together a few basic little houses for a village, or start the walls for a village, or town, I guess, another possibility. Assuming we get down to wherever we want. And I just want to level it out, so I'm not super fussed. I mean, that's not level, but we're never going to get down to where the river will be level in a reasonable time frame, so not worth it. Hello, Scrublord, how are you doing?
Hello.
I think that the bot likes you for that one. I don't know why. I'm just picking that one repeatedly. So what have you been up to lately? Just kind of curious. So you're doing good. It's been really strange weather here. I mean, we started having sort of pseudo-spring, which, for where we live, pseudo-spring is for me when it teases you in March or early April of having a spring just like the US, and then it says, no fair, not gonna happen, and give you a big snowstorm. Ours wasn't a huge snowstorm, but we definitely got the chill back today, and I was not keen on that. My office is one where I've got an oil heater in here, and not a flame-based one, like an electric oil heater, and I tend to keep it at 18 Celsius, which, if I do this correctly, convert 18 Celsius, and we get, it's like, the heater makes sure that it doesn't go below 64, and that's on top of the forced air, but the forced air is in the ceiling, not down farther. But it just seems that the cold today has seeped down, so if we leave the office door open too long, my office will go cold. And yes, I forgot. Swanky is on the Diecraft 73 Bedrock, or Dadrock server, and he decided to be underwater this year. But he's got a lot of digging down to do because the ocean wasn't as deep as he needed it. definitely something that can be, the digging part can be sort of relaxing when it's somewhat mindless. You don't have to worry too much about what's going on. Swikey's is quite interesting in that usually he's fine. He often has a conduit and stuff going on, but you get interrupted a little bit by the rounds in the area. It can just be a real pain in the butt. And once in a while, I think I've seen. No, I don't remember. Sorry, I never remember seeing one. I remember somebody asked him. He never accidentally had a dolphin come to play, and I don't think he had that. But for those of you that are curious, the Swanky Potato does stream as well, and he usually streams later at night by a good margin than we do. But he's definitely an interesting one to watch. I like him a lot. I like his style, and we have some good conversation. He's a dad, and it makes it really positive to watch what he's up to. No, we don't need those. It's funny, the whole digging down thing is very familiar for me. Just about every season I've got some sort of project where I'm digging down, digging down, digging down. Can't blame you, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Your work has been kind of weird lately. Just a lot of stuff going on and then not going on. Just the way it seems to work. Like it's got ebbs and flows differently than your previous job, which can be good, can be tough to get a flow going. Go. I forgot. Oops, not that one. Flash might help. There we go. Now, theoretically, some of the chat should go on screen if all goes the way it's supposed to. Ah, that trick does work. I had completely forgotten how to make things go all at once. And you can get mods that do it, and I was waiting for my mod that does it to update, but then I'd forgotten it. It's actually built in natively. I couldn't remember how to do it. So I looked it up. Yeah, better sleep should help. I've been staying up a little bit late too, going a little bit past Fantastic Sherlock Fox, not a whole lot, I mean no more than an hour beyond him. And still feels, it could be the cooler weather, it could be the fact that we seem to be fighting sinus headaches and sinus colds in our house, so maybe there's something to that that's creating us, I don't know. But definitely making it focus around here. It's our kids' spring break from school, which is usually pretty chaotic just in terms of planning things. They're not at the stage where they want to be go, go, go. That's great. I mean, my daughter's starting that this time, and both grandmothers wanted to spend time with the kids on their spring break. So we had that, which makes it sound like, hey, free day for us, but no, that's when you get all the chores done with the focus. Actually, parents, so you just feel busy. But it could be worse. I mean, if you're going to be unfocused, spring break is the one to be unfocused on because everything seems a little higgledy-piggledy, and you can have a cheap place to stick it on other people. You know? Sorry, my kids interrupted. Well, maybe that's not technically true unless you want to say, yeah, they were actually really just like thumping around upstairs. But it's only if you've got a boss that's on your tail about that, whereas I could understand Fantastic Sherlock Fox has a boss that doesn't particularly care as long as whatever the goals were, the productivity happens, and that does happen, but it's just still hard for him to get a flow going. Alright. Oh, Fantastic Sherlock Fox, something that occurred to me over lunch break was down here. Was that frequently when we grade out, that you get to kind of FSF in particular sometimes gets a word in to the new location, before I do during a stream, which is like after a raid. That totally makes sense. I'm usually busy making sure things shut down correctly at my end before I dare say anything or whatever. And so consequently, every once in a while we get mods at the new rated location where they're confused and they shout out my message box. And I was wondering if you would consider doing a part of your little bio thing on Twitch, just something to say what you do, and that helps. I mean, you can put it in for yourself. I have no problem with that. Rather than leaving it blank, you could actually just say that you're my mod if you've got nothing else to put in there. Or a member of blah 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 community, that works fine too. Sure. It's just something to think about. Yeah. You wouldn't want to be in your shoes there. A lot of this. The reason I don't like letting dirt despawn, even though it collects up, is because of course it's non-renewable, even though there's tons more. It's non-renewable, but I always seem to find that later on there'll be a project or two where I have to fill in holes rather than cut things down, and that's what I want dirt. Or I want to have a top surface that's all soil and just blocks or something. That kind of stuff, so it's always handy to have the soil for that. Okay, let's see, did I? Let's try that, see if that helps at all. I can turn the sound down a little bit more. Escape. Let's turn on it this way. Muffle the dirt. Dirt breaking. Let's leave it at a quarter and see how that goes. It's quite loud, actually. Let's see if we can turn that down again. Dirt. Oh, it's rooted dirt, no wonder. Okay, that's not what I want. Turn off of that. I want all dirt. Okay. Grass? Grass break. Let's mute that. Make it 20. And then can I get dirt block? Recent? Great. Gravel, stone. Let's see what that does. Let's see if that helps at all. There we go. It's there, but it's quieter by a good margin. Yes, it's much quieter. I don't know how it's going to work when we get to the dirt breaking, because it seems to be just the grass blocks that I was able to say that to, so I don't know. But that should hopefully help out. I keep saying I'm going to move the mic and I never remember until I go to do a Lego build and then I mess it up and go, oh, yeah, I should probably move that. Just because my Lego cam's over my head in just such a way that if I lean forward, you end up seeing the part in my hair rather than the Lego build area. So, I want to try and change that out. Because I have a Lego kit that's been waiting and waiting and waiting. Grimald Place, Fantastic Sherlock Fox got that for me for our anniversary present last fall, and I haven't actually built it yet. Because it's one that's big enough I'd like to do a whole stream on it. I just have not been organized enough last few weeks. Either I've been going to camps, or I've been just frustrated enough with technology that I just want it to go away by the time it gets to be Thursday afternoon, and I just don't want to see it again. At least not for streaming until like Monday, and then of course Monday things go square, pear-shaped, or anything other than the direction they should be. So far, knock on wood, things are stable, and they seem to be stable this morning. It looks like at some point in time, somehow I got myself onto the Windows 11 preview program, whatever that was, and until such a thing as Windows 12 comes out, I am stuck on the preview program unless I want to flatten my machine and start from scratch. Now, supposedly, you can do it without reinstalling everything, but I don't really want to fuss with that at the moment. Maybe. We'll see what happens this weekend. My daughter's got kid friends over and stuff, but if there's enough of a I don't interact moment, then I might try it, because apparently if you do an install with installation media, so either they can make a disk, burn a disk, use a USB key, whatever, to do the install from there, you can actually choose to basically leave all programs and settings in place and just do a fresh install of Windows, and that, as I understand it, is enough to get you off the program. So that's a possibility. But anyways, basically whatever it was they had installed as part of this experience program thing, or like the beta, yeah, whatever they call that program, it had busted my network stack, and I could not get online come heaven or high water. At one point, we may have had a VPN problem due to third-party software. We removed that, and then I still just couldn't even ping my own internal router, and that's kind of dumb. It's supposed to be pingable. So you know, you do all the steps that everybody says. Did you turn it off and on again? Yes. And we got it stable, but that's what caused me to go live this morning an entire hour and 10 minutes late. So yeah, was not impressed with that. But anyways, if I can get, I think they're staying stable, and I have one less problem to worry about. Now that I've got 19.4 mods figured out, I'm happy with that one. So Minecraft itself is stable. Then I can start looking at moving around hardware again. Fun. To get everything set up so I can be more comfortable in a LEGO environment. I can go back to building once in a blue moon, adding on an extra stream for LEGO purposes. And I filled that one up. Uh-huh. Supposed to be able to. There we go. Put everything in at once. But do I remember how to do that? Never. That's what always goes. This one has work in it. So once I finish up this other one, I'm going to need to go and get, because I didn't bring the precious box. It has more, that has more of the shulker shells in it. Wow. Can't talk today. Our city is known for what we call Chinooks, which is basically warm wind changes that come in, and everybody gets everything blown all around, and then it gets weather shifted, warm, cold sort of thing. It's usually warm, and it melts stuff, and then the cold fronts come back in, and snow in on top of things, and I usually get headaches from it getting cold, but this season, for some reason, I was getting headaches from it getting warm. Okay, so choice. Target user. Okay, let's change that part. The choice means you get to verbally choose one of the other 5 categories. You can see the color choices listed there, along with what each of those colors mean, and just let me know which color you would like to run. Yellow. Okay. So then, as a mod, we can type GO for Geek Out, yellow, and then that should run the yellow intentionally. And now we've got, the new category is to name 4 titles that take place in New England. It's supposed to be books. 4 books that take place in New England. Now, in all honesty, I am horrible with realizing where things take place, or when. But if we can't figure that out as a group, then we can hang on another 5 minutes and give it a new one. Now, quote of the day, or not quote of the day, sorry, question of the day still exists. that's a possibility as well, but I just don't want to confuse people with too many things all at once. But one of the things we can do, since we're here, and I saw the chicken to remind me, you guys know the drill. Fresh. Let's try and run this one again. I'll make it a little bit shorter. Alright, so the question. Possibly, yeah. And I suppose... I'm not really sure. Part of the problem is being Canadian, I'm not super great at my American geography. I'm not really sure where New England begins and where it ends, right? So we have a little chime, which allows you to predict once again whether or not you figured when we toss out to break up to 5 chicken eggs, are we actually going to get a chicken from it? You can put your clues behind your confidence, whether we will or will not. For those that are into math, it's a 1 in 8 chance to get a chicken. Yes, I'm being rather random, not intentionally. Squirreling here, there, and everywhere. But on a per egg basis, it's a 1 in 8 chance each egg. For those of you that like to do your math on whether or not one's going to get 4 chickens from 1 egg, that's a 1 in 256 chance. But, I mean, in all honesty, apparently it only triggers to see if it's going to get an extra 3 chickens out of 1 once the first element has triggered, so it's not technically a 1 in 256. It's sort of like, once you've got an egg that for sure has chickens, then it does the math to see if it's going to get 3 more. At least that's what the Wikipedia said, so. Or the, yeah, Minecraft Wikipedia. Random? I don't know, whatever they call it. In all honesty, one of the things that I've sort of been all over the place with lately is distracted by, oddly enough, archaeology. I guess that doesn't surprise you much. I don't mean archaeologies in Minecraft, although that's pretty cool in itself. I mean as in the real deal. So I've mentioned before that I quite like, here's the connection, I quite like the Brother Cadfael series of books, which is a fictional medieval monk, I guess you could say, who used to be a crusader. And just this weekend, the Time team out of the UK aired an episode, or aired their episodes of a dig in Wales, I believe it is, but basically looking for a Knights Templar preceptory and other buildings from the Knights Templar location. And it was interesting in the Cadfael connection because where they showed this on the map of where their dig was would have been not that far from Shrewsbury, so it kind of could have made sense that the Benedictine house in Shrewsbury was a potential stopping spot for someone who decided that they wanted to come back and didn't want to be a fighter anymore. So it does make me sort of wonder how many of the monks in the Shrewsbury Benedictine house later were actually sort of not leftovers, veterans of the Crusade. So I'm kind of curious about that. The history of the locale that they were digging up was actually, land was given to them by the same landowner that gave the Benedictine house land to build the monastery at Shrewsbury, so, and the castle and whatever at the town portion. So that was pretty interesting to me to get that connection out of reality when I'm doing a base area influenced by a fictional take on a real place. going faster than cutting down trees. I mean, I know we had a beacon for some of the tree cutting. This still seems to be going faster. I know I did not put up the beacon for this, and when we get to a lot more stone, I may have to. But it's always tough for me to figure out where is the best location to put up the beacon. And, and there's the end of the prediction. What can we do? Let's do up to 5. I'm holding 8, so I'm just gonna dump 3 of them there. Okay. So let's throw them at things. Why not? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have no chicken this time. All right. So congratulations to the winners. And we'll see who donated their points. $3K details. Nobody thought this would happen. Fantastic Show Fox has donated 3,000 clues. Too bad. Sorry to hear that. We did get a chicken this morning when we ran that one. Hello, Hobo Zim. How are you doing?
Oh, hello there!
My technology good luck charm has arrived. Or was it instead he who shall not be named is he who has been present and patient with the technology woes. I have not tackled the NVIDIA driver woes yet. That's a whole different kettle of fish for another day, because at least right now things work. But that is on the docket. There are features in the current version of the NVIDIA drivers that I really would like to have, but I can't actually... didn't want to risk trying that until I got net stable and OBS stopped crashing. The breaker of technology? I doubt it. It sounds insane. I mean, maybe you might be the breaker of technology for yourself and your household, but it seems to me that you do seem to be around when I finally got mine to cling to life for the day. So we missed you this morning though, because I was an hour and 10 minutes late because of technology. So yeah. On the other hand, I mean, hey, the Legion hasn't crashed. Fantastic Shot Fox's Legion laptop hasn't crashed in the last couple of days. At least not that he said, so... Sounds good. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It was a bit of a smaller crew this morning, and I think that's largely because people were off their lunch breaks. As Fantastic Shot Fox knows, I was quite frustrated this morning with that whole thing. Just more, had enough of things breaking for a while. So yeah, all good. All good, we're here. We're here. It is just about time that we can close that one. And I feel like doing Geek Out. Okay. Ooh, there's one. So name 6 films in which you would find a prom scene. Now, it doesn't have to be, specifically 6, but it's kind of fun to see if, as a group, we can hit that target or exceed it. There's something a little different. I can think of 2 for sure. And I was thinking of It's a Wonderful Life and Grease. There's 2. Oh, and a third one being Back to the Future. So we're halfway there already. So, yep. So Back to the Future definitely has one. Ooh, I've never seen that one. So Carrie has one? Okay. Then that would be 4 so far. Yeah, that's why I haven't seen Carrie. I know I don't do well with them, although the story behind Carrie is a really cool story. I don't mean like the reality of it or anything like that. I mean as in the story with Stephen King about how he even got to publishing Carrie. It's because of his wife. So yeah. She went basically wastebasket diving He was trying to write something, and he was giving up on this one and wanted to throw it out, and she dug it out and read through it. And it's like, this stuff is amazing, you've got to get it published. Apparently he helped her with some elements of the girl experience that Carrie was dealing with, and then he got it published, and that's how he hit it big. And there's more to that story that makes it cool, but Fantastic Fox tells it better than I do, so I can remember all of it. Right. Something about then their kid got sick, and they were actually headed to their parents' place to try and borrow money. So the publisher rep or whatever, agent or whatever, couldn't get hold of him to tell him that he got this great big huge advance. Holy moly, that didn't take long, did it? Wow. But they got it was their and they weren't available to take the call, or they didn't have a phone or something, and whoa. Guys, why are you? Go like it doesn't matter. That feels so. All right. Yeah, so Fantastic Fox says it's even cooler when you think that he and his wife were living in a trailer, barely getting by, and drove to get money from parents to buy medicine for their kid. And then I guess somebody managed to track down them at the parents' place, I guess. Yeah, when his agent managed to call him at his mom's house, he was told that not only had his books sold, but that it was a $400,000 advance. And they had been on their way over to borrow money to try and buy meds for the kid. So that, I find that super cool. Haha. Horror Flicks or Tendy's department. She can keep it. You guys can keep them. I will fill up the last few spots I've got, and then... Oh, actually I might as well fly over because I need to swap my tools anyways. Okay, where are we here? Which direction? That away, I think. This way. He's had his real ups and downs with a lot of negativity over the years. I mean, the things that go on in his head are really strange, but unfortunately that's... I shouldn't say it's the mark of a genius, sometimes that's the terrifying mark of someone who's struggling with things. And it may not even be in his personal life, but it makes you wonder where a person's head is at to be able to come up with the kinds of things he does. It's disconcerting to say the least. Okay, so I'm just going to stop and come here anyway. Some of this. See how the farm's doing. And then we'll go talk to the villagers and stuff and see if we can get repairs done. I have other shovels, but I mean, if I'm going to be here for more boxes anyways, I might as well do the repairs while we're at it. It's getting full again. Oh, not bad. Oh, I have to move that key. We're not actually even using shaders, so that's why it's... I've got shaders installed, I'm just not using them. A couple more boxes over here. How much space have I got? That one can probably come out and get cleaned up. away, put away, that junk away. Oh, I don't have other shovels. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna be buying some shovels while we're here. Clean up, I think. Do I not have? Huh, we don't have other shovels. Okay. I'm not used to having extras of stuff. Feels weird. That's better. This morning it was sounding a lot slower. Part of why iron farms are one of the first things I make, because then it saves me a lot of trouble going to enders and stuff. I mean, those are fantastic, but it's always handy to have places to deal with things locally when you can. I'm about halfway through the shovel. Guys, I need you to reload. I heard you reloading. Where'd you go? Yay, okay, that's one shot. Perfect. Now I can talk to you. Oh, wrong one. Hey, dude. Toolsmith. What do you have? Yeah. Sure. I'll take 3 of those. Can you please reload? You have efficiency 2. That'll make me efficiency 3, but you're far more expensive than the guy who's got better, much cooler ones. Buddy, load up, please. Making 3, efficiency 4, and mending. And you want more shovels? I do. You want an unbreaking. No, you're not the guy I was talking to earlier. Huh? Still not. Oh. See? I mean, we have a beacon, so I can put up with the efficiency. That's fine. There's I got 4 of the cats over here and 1 way over there. What happened to you, buddy? Really? Oh well, at least we got 3 more. We can get a bunch of work done. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. I'm not done with my villagers. I don't think I'm gonna have all of the books like last time, but I might do all the books I'm gonna use.
Hello there!
Hey James, good to see you. Yeah, totally enjoy. I understand. Let's see. I think Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, it's probably like, I'm gonna guess about 9:45 in the morning, more or less, for you. So yeah, it's gonna be a little while. Enjoy your lurk. Definitely enjoy your lurk. Feel free to do the thing you need to do. Because, you know, money, bills, and all that. where did you go? In all honesty, 10:45. Okay, I picked the wrong zone then. Which Australian time zone are you in, James? I'm kind of curious. And here's another question: are you in one that shifts? Because I know not all of them do, but I know. That... Oh, okay. Yeah, Sydney's definitely different. Because I think that's one south of Joe. I'm done with that. Okay, so ends on the 2nd, and then you go the opposite direction. So you're on daylight time now, then. Yeah, and Joe doesn't get DST for sure. And also, since she doesn't get DST, then that would explain why there's an hour difference between you and her. Just give me 1 second and right back. Sorry about that. Physical mute as well. I really wasn't sure if the software mute was going to work. Okay. So I'm going to make 8 boxes, because I know I'm going to use them all at some point or other. One for me. That away. Oh, fiddle. There we go. Trying to get things put away in such a way that we don't get much risk of mobs spawning. That one's empty. Alright. Back we go. So we won't be peeling down quite as far as we did last season. That was a bit ridiculous. We're just trying to more or less level out a bit here so we can actually build with this zone. A stall? What sort of little stall do you need to set up there? Hope it was him. You probably... If I actually had the diamonds, you could probably keep me in rockets all day. Wings. Good point. Good point. I kind kind of wish that I actually had the guts to be able to go and do a lot of the more dangerous things on the server. I just don't. But I was thinking about what some of the people on the Deadrock server who don't actually have a shop, and different ones can run around and do the make it happen type of jobs, as in I would say kind of like in some cases being the delivery men or the retrievers or whatever for things like, you can go get me a pair of wings, I guarantee to buy them from you plus extra because it's the service of you go doing it rather than me having to do that sort of thing. So it's sort of an on-demand buying kind of system. Spent the weekend in the end getting wings. I mean, it's helpful that we've got someone on the server who was running around putting torches all over the main island, so that we have less concern about what's going on out there. So, it sounds silly, but we're gonna have even less Endermen to worry about if we do some more dragon fights at some point to open up the rest of the portals. But the big pain in the butt is getting the skulls to do it. Because that's not one that's my forte either. I mean, as much as I have, healing down type streams, I have yet to have one where I'm in the nether looking for netherite. I should really do that at some point. I mean, another thing I should probably do is find a spot, cheaty or otherwise, where it's solid enough that I can actually set up branch mine, because I quite like branch mining, and that's my favorite way of getting diamonds. But as you guys have seen, the cavern beneath my base is not conducive to that in the slightest. Far too many friends and neighbors in that one. There we go. In case anybody was curious, today's list is by the Base Rebels line. Base Rebels production house, I guess. And so we've got a bunch of happy beats to study and relax to. They claim it's their favorite happy music from the Base Rebels record label. So sometimes I like stuff that has no words, and that's my preference, but the problem is you don't tend to get a lot that has no words unless you've got incredibly heavy beats, and super heavy beats aren't always my thing. I love, say for example, David Turner music. I love his stuff, but sometimes depending on what's going on, particularly when I've got like a Chinook headache or something, it's just a little too heavy. So when you get stuff that's got words in it, it's a little bit, or it's less likely to be quite as heavy, just because you don't always hear the lyrics through it if you do that. Wow. So now, what was it when you were out in the end? Were the wings your target item, or were they a side effect of something else you were looking for, or you just like end busting for kicks? I'm curious. It takes all sorts to make a nice friendly server. We were looking for them. Okay, well, that works then. Hobozim, the purveyor of fine, less common items. Tongue-in-cheek title I saw on another stream was, that might actually be appropriate here, was basically in their case was they call it the Pita Emporium. I mean, I know it's not 100% family friendly, but we're like, 98. As long as you keep it as an acronym. But yeah, it was the person was selling basically all the things that a royal pain in the keister to get. That's what they called it, was the Pita Emporium. But the thing is, it was their like local family realm sort of thing, so it's not like anybody on an unnamed, a notable name server was going to be using a title like that. Particularly not if they're family friendly. Or less likely anyway.
Hello there.
And the white rabbit has arrived. Well, this is not a very important date, but yeah. That's okay, Benson. So, you haven't missed much, actually. I've been doing a lot of this, tearing down. The long story made short is when I looked at just how much of the cavern beneath where I had been working under my base I had not lit up. I tried to go light a bunch of it up, and it was just becoming a bit of a Pandora's box. With just far too much going on that I just said, okay, forget this. This project is seriously not worth it to do down here, and I gave up on it. I even left the build that I had built so far down there. I had to go back for the beacon because I nearly left the beacon behind too. And just said, forget it. And then came to peel down some of this, a little bit like last season, but I'm just trying to flatten this zone out a bit more so that I can put the monastery on it. The zone of Shrewsbury, England that this is modeled on loosely is a little flatter than the terrain that I've actually got, so I'm just trying to clean it up a little bit. Truthfully, it's probably a good thing you missed earlier, just because I was quite frustrated. So not exactly the world's best company when you've had such a busy day. There we go. Still having to remember that trick. So what I'm doing there is, if you pick up a stack of whatever you want it to move, and then you use your left mouse button to double click over top of more stacks of the same thing while you're holding your shift key down, then they'll all go into the chest at once. Most of you probably know that. I did not. Not sure why. I may have known it at some time, but I've used probably life mods that did it for me a little easier for long enough that I'd forgotten about the built-in trick. So, yeah. There are things one can do to make stuff go faster. Actually, we're probably just about due for another egg and another Geek Out. So I will throw one of those. Actually, if Fantastic Sherlock Fox is available to toss up either one of those, that would be fantastic. Either one or both, doesn't really matter. Yay! Okay. Oh. You get to choose again. I swear I didn't weight that heavier. You went red. Okay. Ah! So we're trying to aim for at least 6 films where a dog is the main character. Now, if we have sequels, that still only counts as one franchise. We can't go naming sequels as separate pieces. So, things like the, what do you call them? They had a whole series of films with, like, the Disney, say, the Shaggy Dog series, or they had a whole series of films with, like, the Santa Pups, although that isn't a series film, but that sort of line. So we could only name that, not the franchise per se, but the series of films once. Bud, Balto, 101 Dalmatians. Sounds good, yep. Because Santa Pups you can have, I guess you could have Scooby-Doo. There's 2 more. Old Yeller, yeah. For sure. 5, I guess. I can't count. I think that's 5. These are from the card game Geek Out, and it's the Pop Culture Edition. We have regular ones that are a little bit more Trivial Pursuit style available. I just didn't pick up those ones. We wanted to see how this batch went first. Hey Bacon, how goes? Hello! Mr. Brotato. Good to see you. I will forgive this spelling, Fantastic Sherlock Fox, because I know exactly what you're getting at. Yep, there's definitely Hound of the Baskervilles, although one could argue it may not actually be a main character. It's an important character, but it's not a main character. And one could almost say it's not even a character. So what we're what we've got there on the side, bacon just for you and for Benson, who is I picked up a copy of the card game Geek Out and transposed a bunch of it into files on our computer so we can randomly pull questions from it. Oh, that's okay. I didn't realize you were driving. I'm sorry, Fantastic Dogfox. I apologize. And so anyways, the idea is that when it's the player's turn in the offline game, or player's turn, they roll a dice that has 5 colors or a blank side. And so I just used a built-in random number generator in my bot to roll 1 through 6 and assign each of those to a color. And then taught the bot that when a particular number comes up, then they're going to pull from the text file that has the answers for the red category. Or not the answers, sorry, the questions for the red category, which stands for movies. Or the yellow category, which is literature. Green, I think, is songs. Black is miscellaneous. And it's right on the screen there, and I'm not even noting it. Blue is TV, I believe. And so, Fantastic Sherlock Fox got code because it didn't know for 6 how to pull the target user. That's, that happens. Sorry to hear that. Do let me know what sort of audio issues. It could be me again. One of the things that Neon often has to do is to drop his, is it drop or raise? I can't remember, one of the two. His mobile P level, for lack of a better term. 1080p or whatever that they've got, 720, etc. It could also be me. I've had things a little bit too loud in some spots and too quiet in others. I'm glad you're not having any audio trouble today. Ooh. Ooh. Is it just me, or is it everybody doing that? If it's just me, I know I need to tackle that between streams to try and figure out why. If it's other streamers too, then it's more of a widespread problem, understandably. I had a theory the other day, and I'm fairly certain it's not true, but sometimes it seems like it, where those that are technologically knowledgeable enough that they shouldn't be running into trouble seem to be cursed with more technological issues because we mess about with things too much. We just can't leave well enough alone. And those that are technologically averse seem to have fewer issues, even though their stuff may not seem as complex. It's simple is better in some cases. I would say, on my stream at least, I don't always follow the KISS principle. Keep it super simple. That's really not what it stands for, but hey, good enough. So the current Geek Out category is movies. We're trying to name at least 6 films in which a dog is a main character. I mean, we can be pretty obvious here about... Yeah, they definitely don't. I mean, we can go with pretty obvious titles like All Dogs Go to Heaven. Probably a good one. Or we did touch on 101 Dalmatians. There's also the Disney version of Oliver, based on Oliver Twist. Loosely based on Oliver Twist. I mean, there's clearly Lady and the Tramp. And Fox and the Hound, I think. They don't specify whether it's animated or live action, so we can do whatever we want. And we're getting pretty close to 6 right there, and I think we've already had a bunch more. So for those of you that are interested, anyone, even though it has been my mod who's been bringing the Geek Outs so far, the actual request to play it, which is !Geek Out, is enabled so that anybody can play that. It doesn't have to be Fantastic Sherlock Fox. If it becomes overly popular, it might become a points redemption, but at the moment it's just anybody who wants to play that. There is a 5-minute timer between changes, such that we can't actually change the question any more frequently than that, just to keep people from changing it before we've answered the previous version by colliding with each other. I mean, it doesn't all have to be Disney movies either. There are some that say things like 2 different movies starring Al Pacino. Eh. You could say Godfather, yeah, sure. That's 1. Right, even though there was a sequel, that would still only count as 1. So it's just something a little different and new, and not as locked in as some of the other card type games I've got going, nor as wackadoodle, I guess, as the not parent approved game. I know I may come across sounding desperate for things to do other than play Minecraft. Just want a little bit of spice here and there, and the Trivial Pursuit was not catching on, so I'm okay with that. I just haven't bothered to take it down yet. Lassie, Benji, Beethoven, Balto, and the Fox and the Hound. Yeah, exactly. So that was an easy peasy one. The way it would work if you were playing offline, is it sounds like the game figures that you should be able to get 6, but you could players are actually encouraged to bet versus one another, to see how many that they could get, and then you actually get points based on how close you were to your bet, or if you exceeded it, or whatever. And I haven't figured out how to make that work online in a stream, so I'm just going with the questions for now. Yeah, I mean, there's, like, as I said, there's all the cheesy dog movies that they had for a while, like Air Bud. You know? Exclamation point Geek Out. And that's all one word, even though the game title, if you were to buy it in a store, would be 2 words. I must be getting to a cave. Geek Out. So the category is music. Name 2 songs about motorcycles. Ooh, this is when we need people like bats. About motorcycles. So not involving motorcycles, but about motorcycles. Because, I mean, it's not if you want to think about motorcycles in a more loose sense, you could use, like, the leader of the pack. But I can't think of any that are actually about motorcycles. On the other hand, there could be songs that are singing about motorcycles where they're referring to the brands, and that would be one that I wouldn't necessarily know. Like, for example, there could be a song about an Indian motorcycle, which could potentially come across title-wise as sounding racist, but it's not intended to. It's just if they're talking about a brand of motorcycle. I've got a hole in the basement somewhere. Well, yes. I have a suspicion that family friendly may come into play in here, because the game never claims to be family friendly. Although, I mean, there is a family edition of the game. I mean, part of it is more just fun to see how close we get. Aha, there you go. There's 2. Wild Hog's an easy rider. Yeah, if we can't make it without being unfamily friendly, then obviously that's not going to work. So if you do it too soon, I can spell. Oh, it did work. Okay. So now we're looking for 6 films that have John Travolta in them. Doesn't have to be a main character. Really? Come on. Because I've got one beneath me. There we go. Yeah. Like, I mean, the 2 that come to mind right off the top for me, with Travolta in them, actually 3. and that would be Saturday Night Fever, Grease, and Hairspray. I'm sure there's plenty more. So those are just the three that occur to me. Can you tell I've got a thing for music? Just for enjoyment of music? So we've got 3 down. Wondering if we can figure out 2 more. Face Off and Look Who's Talking. Aha, yeah. Definitely. So we're up to 5 different ones so far. Forgot about the Look Who's Talking series. And Ladder 49, yeah. Forgot about that. He plays a fireman in that one, doesn't he? Like, you can almost close your eyes and picture different movies and go, does it have the chin? Yeah, it's got the chin. Okay, great. And it's him, not Reeves. He's the chief. Aha! One of our 2 known to be resident ex-firefighters would probably know, for sure. Yeah. I can imagine. Well, I mean, the other thing is, if we needed to, one could whisper it, but it's probably not necessary. Travolta's been in enough. We've made it to 6. 7, I think, actually. So if I was to pull that off again... Oh! It's because I'm the broadcaster, that's why. Okay, so Geek Out Literature. Classical geek titles. Classical Greek titles. Easy, easy. Oh no, you're right, Bacon. Well, it's funny actually, there's 2 versions of one of the songs because it's not fully family friendly. So in order to be presentable as a high school musical, they had to change some of the lyrics to make it family friendly. I thought that was kind of amusing. Ooh. Yeah, very sorry to hear that. Awkward. What do we have here? Yeah, we're very sorry to hear that. There's a bunch of... If you ever get the chance to talk to Spitfire, she's got some pretty gnarly stories too, and some weird near misses. Apparently she just barely managed to get it out from a backdraft situation. And it was kind of like she basically more or less got herself blown backwards. And so she came down the ladder so fast that she didn't even realize she did it till she was sitting on the ground in front of the house with her helmet off, and her chief had come over and sort of shake her and be like, hello, yo, it's okay, you can get back to Earth now. Wow, fantastic shot. Fox went way out there, yeah. My response easily was the Odyssey and the Iliad. But at least we got 2 different authors. So we've got 3 good ones there. And they only asked for 2. I think I got away with doing it inside the 5 minutes because I'm the broadcaster. If we run into duplication in a big way, then I can start doing them by hand because I've only gotten a portion. I'll show you real quick what I've gotten done. So basically the way this works is it does a bit of an if statement piece. So once it figures out if the value of the roll was 1, then choose red. Otherwise, continue. You know, if-else statements. So we have... pulling out the pile. So each of these... Each of these cards has 5 questions on it. And... or not 5 questions, 5 categories. And I've only gotten through this much in transposing it into text for the random stuff. So we have a good number, but if we get into ones where we've already got something, then I can actually manually put it in. New one. The new one is two book titles, or literature titles, I guess, in which Earth is insignificant, and it doesn't matter. I would say easy one to start with is Hitchhikers, because the Earth is insignificant enough that they're going to bulldoze it out of the way and make a space highway. But I can't think of a second one off the top of my head. Book crew, any ideas? I mean, there's plenty of other ones where Earth seems insignificant in the eyes of other races or other species. Sorry, and then of course they're trying to come and get us. I mean, I guess you could say, you know, there's novelizations of movies, but I'm going to count those out because those would be movies themselves. Things like, as a novelization of a movie where that might be the case, something silly like Mars Attacks. Clearly the Martians thought that Earth was useless, and therefore that it was worth attacking. You know, but that's a novelization of a movie, not to mention a rather cheesy movie. I would bet Fantastic Sherlock Fox would know of one or two. In the meantime, we can always have a free fight. Very, very true. Very, very true, Benson. From Liv, I guess? You can choose what you want to be called in this channel. I have no problem with either one. I don't think we've had one of these Champion Hills too. Bacon, oh, we got Bacon and Fox and Benson in there. That's gonna be an interesting one. Seconds left. Kind of a strange hill they've got. It looks a bit like it's made out of the weird sponge you see for dioramas. Yeah, books where the Earth is insignificant. By the way, the capitalization may seem really strange in the categories. I tried to copy what they had on the card, so I'm assuming they're using that as hints in terms of emphasizing which are the important factors in the category. To give you an idea of what they're really looking for. Rigged! Using the frying pan. He's going for the classic tangled solution. We have a Lego build we have here. Oswin says, "Honey, I'm pregnant. Well, what do we do now? Well, I guess we should go to a baby doctor. I think I'd be a lot more comfortable going to an adult doctor." Oh, but I'm pissed. Oswin, that's terrible. No wonder you're a monk. That's awful. Okay, so Hobozim, would you like to build now, or would you prefer me to hold off a particular time in the stream? That's up to you. So I can do it now, no big deal at all. Aha! 10 minutes of Lego! Woohoo! Okay, sure, you can do that. Ooh, okay, I do have torch. It'd be a problem if I didn't. Watching me, you know, come out of here and find out that somebody's gone and like obsidianed me in. That would just stink. But hey, it would do. Sure, yep, no problem. Let me get that swapped over and I'll be right back.
Don't really understand the feeling that we have. There's gonna be some bad wishes from people that don't really understand this what we have. Keep loving, keep loving me just like you do it, like you do it, like you. This don't live, so we keep growing just like we do it, like you do it, like you. There's gonna be some bad.
All right.
From people that don't really understand the feeling
Where are we going?
There's gonna be some bad.
All right, so we got the Lego set up there, and we're just finishing up the Harry Potter Hogwarts carriage and thestrals. So we've got the carriage we've got going here with the thestral on the front and a cute little baby thestral. And I'm holding off building the actual Lego characters till the end, even though we're pretty sure we know who they are. But yeah, we were just working on a tree for this one. And the lighting is a little bit screwball and self-adjusting, so we'll just cross our fingers and bear with it. Alright, so we have... I'm going to click on and make sure I can turn the pages. There we go. Alright. We got the tree, steps put together. Okay, so we're on step 8 for this part. And throw the time in there. Timer, are you going to cooperate? Oh, I see why it's having a problem. Okay. Aha. I moved it. Okay. Just give me one quick second to find this page on streaming stuff. No, that should save. Sure, that's fine. There we go. Okay, excellent. That means that now when I do this, I should get timer on screen. Or not. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Alright, so he redeemed 2 slots, so we'll do 2 slots of it. So first off, we've got a piece, a tree bit, with a little brown bob on it. Yay! Leo. I think the audio from that comes through here. If it doesn't, I can definitely adjust that. Though I don't know. Do we really want to hear the parts? Oh, right. We've got this one. Tube with another little brown single stud on top. There. That goes into our tree. I figured you'd heard the part just fine. Right. And then on the back side, scenery is never the exciting part. It's often the characters or seeing major pieces of set work come together, but they're still quite critical. It's not the Whomping Willow by any stretch of the imagination, but on the other hand, it's a piece that looks good and helps to sort of fill in the scene. Come on, oh, brown. Okay. Hold it in. There we go. Take a moment for it to pop through. Alright, and then that. Which way does that go? Which way does it go? Which way does it go? I think. Oh. Whatever. For whatever reason. 10, okay. So then, the only piece left build since we've got our tree. The only pieces left are find friends right at the start. Come on, all the way. There we go. Luna's legs, and then her body. She's got an interesting expression on her face, but it's just a little bit of a flat face. Oop. There we go. It's a little fuzzy, I apologize for that, but that's the way the camera wants to operate today. And then we'll put her sling bag on before the head though. I just threw her head on the floor. Bonus! I didn't. Landed in my lap. So, put her hair on. I love it when the actress Ivana Lynch, who did Luna, she tells Harry that he's not seeing things, that he's just as sane as she is, and everybody calls her Loony Lovegood, so that's really not very comforting. So she can go and feed the baby Thestral. And then we've got Harry to put together. Really classic Harry. In this particular head, he's either kind of flat smirking. He's either kind of flat smirking, or on this side it doesn't want to zoom, or downright annoyed. Oh, well, anyway. I'll just leave him with a smirk because he's kind of confused. Do I have hair? Okay. Interesting. If this one is supposed to show his... If they're all supposed to show his scar, but this one doesn't seem to. Neat that it doesn't. For some unknown reason, they gave him an apple to hang on to. Don't know what good that would do, in all honesty. And then I don't tend to put the wands in just because they get lost and they're all over the place. But I have a big wand box. Those two dudes. And there's the first 5. I'm just going to quickly run through. They have another accessory for Luna. So they've got a copy of the well-known Quibbler cover. And then some random bits and bobs that need to get put away. So let's just put the wands away. And the rest can go in my 2 sort later box. Wands, screw. 2. Dark brown. Wands. Screw. Yeah. My box, I need a new box because it's actually getting over full. To go with the dark brown wands. I've got a whole box full. Alright. Then, 4. How wonderful. But tis, love it. And bacon will be here all week. Remember to try the sauce. I can't even get it closed anymore. That'll be interesting. So, the reason I did not want to start the second 5 minutes right away, and I will, but not instantly. Just for now. Set them over to the side. Put the Quibbler in her hand is because I'm going to open up a brand new box for the second 10 minutes, or second 5 minutes. We've got the carriage with Thestral. We've got our 2 characters. Then there's a little baby Thestral. And the tree. The next one more fun. A new release from this season. For surviving the latest stream weekend, Fantastic Sherlock Fox gifted me. I don't know if it's going to show. Yeah, there we go. So I have got the brand new Gryffindor house banner. so that it actually opens up to be like a little playset sort of thing. And I do not have handy the instructions for that one as a digital, so we may end up having to just deal with the classic little booklet, but I'll do my best to show that on stream as I can. So, what have we got inside? Unboxing! Whee! Stickers! I always like stickers. Ooh! We got a 3D thing. It doesn't come across very well on stream. It's one of those ones that as you tip it, things change. That's kind of cool. I like that feature. Win already. And there's the book. It's actually quite thick, in all honesty. We've got, looks like page numbers. We've got 77, I think. 75 pages of stuff in here. That's actually a pretty good size. This one claims to have 285 pieces. There's bag 1. Now, I'm a knoller, so maybe we'll spend the first 5 minutes as a cliffhanger doing the knolling and the sorting for the first box. And while that seems to be sort of a nasty, evil cliffhanger piece to work with, I'm one that prefers to do it that way rather than digging through. I mean, if you just open all the bags all over the place, they end up with bits everywhere. Okay, so make sure I do no more than 5 minutes of that. Right. Sort as fast as we can. Because I'm being a little bit weird. There's no way LEGO would let you run out of sets to buy. Very true, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Very, very true. 5 minutes to sort the bag. In all honesty, I probably will have finished sorting even if I don't end up doing it in 5 minutes, but it probably would not be all on camera. I can always move this mouse mat elsewhere. But I'm kind of curious how much I can get sorted in 5 minutes. Probably not very much. We'll see. Oh, that's an interesting piece. It's like flat on one side and bumpy on the other. There. What is that? The sad part about doing things in a rush, though, is that I have a funny tendency to sort things in 2 different spaces. What I mean is I'll sort, then I'll move something, and then I'll sort it again, and not even realize I've done that. 3. Oh, there's a 4th one there. One of those. There. 1 curly key. Why only 1? Just weird. 5. 5. Go over there. Oh, we have a window. Lovely. I like windows. And up there. Some hinges. Have some more of those. Perfect. That one. Okay, that's bag 1. Aha, there's the other code key. Knew there was more than 1. Okay, here's the first small bag. Ooh! I'm dropping things everywhere. Move some of the bigger pieces out. Because those bigger pieces can easily stay out of the trays I've got. Move some of that. Little bits. There's Harry's head, so we're getting somewhere. We've got feathers or quills or something. Ooh! Gryffindor sword. Score! I like that. Head. His hair. Let me build Harry. Why not? Nope. And now he's like the Black Knight from Harry Potter. Come back! I'll bite your kneecaps off! Your whole legs off, man! There we go. Harry Potter. Alright. And Harry Potter has a broom, I guess. And some wands. What can we get? Oh, sorry! I leaned in. Warned you! I do have to move the camera. What I'm going to do is probably swap where the camera and the where my microphone is. So the mic won't be above my head, but it can be further back. And it reduces the tendency for me to risk leaning in. Looks like there's only one of those. There's a black pair of these little door-like things. Pop up my message 100 points. What did we... Yeah. So that's why I need to move things. Thank you for catching that, guys. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I keep putting it off. Is. First one. That one. Haha! You really want me to start this one? Did we get... Nope, 37 seconds. What a ripoff. We got chocolate bar. This little piece there, I like that one. And we've got ourselves a snitch to work with. Alright, another feather. Little flippy things. 3, 4. I think that's close enough for this bag. That, oh, letter. Okay, so one more bag. Got a bunch. They're all rolling away. The little cylindrical things, they are forever rolling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this doorway. I'm just going to set off to the side here and put them inside that so that they can't roll around. Or 10 versions of that other thing. 10 tips. 1 buys. Roll up, please. Square. Square. Brown. Brown. 10. You know we end up with 2 places, right? 3. There. Okay, and a bunch of little those things. Alright. I think we're close enough. You can at least find things, right? That's the key. It doesn't have to be perfect. You go and keep shuffling things. Doesn't have to be perfect, she says. Alright. Close enough. Okay, so in that case, I'm just going to grab. What do we have? Actually, let's not do that now. We'll just grab a book. I can't see. Okay. Give me a quick be right back, and I will do the last section. Alright, so we're starting with the big strip, and then we put a couple of little gray flat strips across the back. So this one is made out of, I'm trying not to lean into the camera this time. It's down at the bottom. Got all those little tubes. One of these gray pieces and one of the like garden hose type shapes. Together correctly. 1, 2. With a garden hose like shape. All right. Okay. Oh, out of it. And that was on the corner of the board. Like that. And then next to it, it wants a little pillar. With the gray, I just saw it. Oh, that one. I keep holding it way out. It's like, here, there we go. Alright, piece. That one. Wedge. 6 one. That's one of the double ridged pieces. Another wedge. Okay, and then just a strip of brown across the back. Tube. Another one of the bubbly pieces. And these are actually, I don't know why, but I find them very, very appealing to look at. I wish I knew why. Then we're putting two of the brown strips across the top. And then 10 says we're going to put 2 little tubes on top of that. 1 and 2. Okay. Set that down for a second. 11 have 10 little studs. Come on, you. There's 10 studs and a single square with a claw, more or less, on it. And that's going to fit the piece we just built in between the 2 cylinders. There we go. That's kind of like the picture. And then that goes on our bigger strip next to the gray. There we are. Okay. 13. Off to the side for a second. We've got a gold fancy looking bit. Goes beside the piece we just put on. And another one of these vertical tube things. One of those to go underneath and level everything off. One of the features I like about this set, compared to the library books that we had, is this one has sort of a long hanging down type shape where you can hang it somewhere. But then when you build it inwards, the 2 bottom edges of the banner will close in underneath it. And that's kind of a neat concept because then it makes the whole thing intentionally more 3D than the way you build it. Okay, so we've got another one of those tubular doohickeys to build. To match with the other side. I had to twist the first one, and I had to twist the second one. It's like I built them in the back order. Okay, there, that fits in. Not quite sure what these little black zones are at the back, but hopefully be useful for something at some point. Alright. Now we've got one of these too high Good one, James. So Zim has had redeemed about 15 minutes worth of Lego. We spent 5 minutes finishing off the Hogwarts carriage and thestrals, and then we're starting on the what do they want to call this thing anyways? Gryffindor House Banner is what they're calling it. And weirdly, they actually have you open up the box kind of upside down. I thought it was sort of odd. 1, 2. This one goes inwards. But I mean, if this sort of thing is the kind of thing you like, do stay tuned, because there will be an extra stream coming at some point in the near future, where we're going to build the Grimmauld Place set. I've had that for quite some time and really looking forward to it. But yeah. In spite of what people may think of whatever the author has said, I cannot, deny that I still enjoy this stuff based on the IP, because it's just become a whole lot of fun, regardless of that, which is rough, because I mean there's all kinds of social issues surrounding it, and I've just decided that I like this stuff before she opened her big fat mouth, and so I'm going to keep on enjoying it, and I will still be as positive and friendly and open and welcoming and anything to any of the people that people disagree with as a person. It's neither here or there. Okay, so we've got step 18. We're looking at a little side piece of this. It's what looks like a golden flower on it. And then to the right of that, we've got a flat red section. Then they're putting a little 2-bump piece onto. I know I've just expired my timer, blinking at me rather horribly, saying, "You fool, you've gone too long." But I just want to finish this bottom piece for step 19, because that makes it a nice smooth place to finish. Smooth if I can actually get the pieces together. I don't make them straight. They're not going to connect. Come on. This is not at the state where I have to go get one of the thick sticks. Got a number of those. You would think after a number of years that they would sort of say, "Hey, we'll sell you these or give these things to you at the store dirt cheap, but if you don't need them, we're not going to include them in the boxes." Because the number of these fixed stick things that you get gets to be a little bit ridiculous. And they've redesigned them as well. So the early ones from the 70s and 80s look very, very different than the ones they include today. All right. That one on. And see, does step 20 have to do anything to it? Not particularly. It starts getting a little... Yeah, it starts becoming other things. I will leave it there. And instead, I will just change off the whole mat and be right back with you. You said when you were young you had teeth and fingernails. The problem I had with doing the teeth and fingernails thing for myself was just that you'd end up often leaving marks on the Lego, and that was never something I was a huge fan of. Even now, when I make a mistake with something, I will actually go, like, say I've misplaced a sticker a couple times. I've done it while we've been building. I've been upside down with things, and but I put things on upside down, and I'll be the kind that won't just grab it with my fingernail and start scrunching the corner to peel off the sticker. I'll be one of those people that insists on going through with an X-Acto knife blade to clean up all the mess. Just to try and peel up the corner as cleanly as possible. And yes, I've had ones that have strange stretches in them and wrinkles and bunged up corners, and that's just the nature of what it is. You can't always rescue them, because I was told to put them upside down, but they're a lot more good enough than if I'd use my teeth and fingernails to break apart bricks. And maybe it's just because I've had enough Lego that was legit chewed by dogs that, or other toys of different sorts that have dog marks in them, that I really like the whole teeth mark look. Maybe, I don't know, just being that way. It's not like I intend to ever, I say this now, but it's not like I intend to, make a profit off selling it and keep it in pristine condition or anything silly like that. I mean, I don't even keep the boxes. This is actually literally just diorama display stuff that I absolutely love, and I'm running out of space for, but I love it anyways. You guys have seen in the back once or twice an outdated version of what my shelf looks like. To my left, I've got a sofa table that should, in theory, have room to put dinner down on or something when I'm at my computer in the evenings watching someone else. But unfortunately, the space, now a good third of it is taken up by Lego. And then the other 2/3, there's a little bit of narrow space to put dinner and such, but the rest of it is all boxes for various different things. So like the Trivial Pursuit stuff is all laid out there. I've got the pop culture cards from Geek Out, and I've got the not parent approved cards and stuff like that. Like it actually was going to be accessed and used, which is kind of wishful thinking because I haven't got myself organized enough. I love the name our kids have given to the Lego Fix Sticks things. As far as I know, I think it's just a repair tool. I think that's what they call them. I haven't looked in Bricklink to find out. But somewhere along the line, my son started calling them Fixer Sticksers. And so we just stuck with it. So yeah, in our house, those are the Lego Fixer Sticksers. I mean, the kid's, like he's nearly 12, and yet we still call it that. It's kind of fun. 5 minutes remaining. Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you for the time check. Now, unless she has dictated otherwise, the plan is to go and pick up with Stormy. I believe she's a Tuesday night streamer, but I have not yet seen... She's live? Excellent. Good. I got myself distracted today and forgot to check to see whether or not she'd made an announcement about not streaming. So that's good. Yeah, that's the plan. Is we're going to be headed over to the Storm of Owls and see what she's up to this evening. I can bet you she's not feeling things down. Always good, though. Always good to watch them, Stormy. There's really great people in this community, and it just blows my mind how many of them are fantastic. And even those that are not streaming are still great people to have around. I mean, we support each other in all kinds of ways. And those that are trying streaming, we support each other in amazing ways. Like just... It was a dull and stormy night. Nice. We do try to support each other in neat ways. Like, Stormy took the initiative to host for those wanting to stream just a chit-chat session over one of the channels on Dadcraft Discord for community members that were trying to stream and having trouble with getting their settings right and so on. And so we had that on Saturday. That was a blast because I learned a few things. I mean, I came in late because I had other stuff going on, but I learned a few things and was able to help out a little bit. So it was all good. Yeah, you missed it, but you know what though? People said that it's actually great to check in once in a while and just have a night where it doesn't even have to be a once a month or anything heavy calendarized, but an opportunity for those that have had, to have a check-in, sort of say, hey, you helped me earlier on. Here's where I'm at. Here's how that turned out, and what I learned from my own lessons, which might help someone else. Or even shoot the breeze brainstorming ways of making each other the same or the ways of making each other different. I mean, one of the other things that we can do as a community is when there is a group event like a dragon fight, you know, it's kind of neat to see multiple different angles of the same thing from different people. I think Max Money might have been one that was streaming when we did the Java server dragon fights. I can't remember if there was anyone else. I think there was one other. But we shared, like we used pages like Simul-Twitch or Multi-Twitch or whatever, which is not the same thing as multi-streaming. It's allowing people on one page to watch multiple streams at the same time. And those are the sorts of things that we share with each other, or we teach each other how to use the Discord overlays so that when we are doing something like a stream weekend, we can make it easy to show off who we're handing off to, because we're able to use the overlays to share that. And it's one of those things that, you know, if people missed it, there's no problem with tagging someone else in stream and saying, hey, you know, I'm kind of struggling with this. Do you mind walking me through it? And what really was going to happen was originally it was intended to be a one-on-one sort of thing. And it became a session where multiple people needed the same sort of help. So Stormy just said, well, why don't we just do it one night and have anybody who wants to just drop in? And we'll do it more than once if needed. I mean, as Zim can vouch, I have not had the smoothest technology of late. It used to be smoother, but then I started trying to play with it and do different things, and the things that weren't broken suddenly became broken. But maybe there's a better way of doing things such that I didn't clutter stuff up and risk further breakage. You know? Just knowing how other people set theirs up gave me all kinds of ideas of different things I could do to change mine up once in a while. You know, and it's not necessarily the flavor of the week, but it's ways that I can tweak things. So it's all good. We are looking, if I catch my time right, about 2 minutes. And then we'll head on over to the Stormy Owl. For those of you that have the opportunity, that are allowed background noises and such at work, not everybody has that opportunity. There we go. One more. Nope. But this is in Mountain Time. So I will be going to me tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.-ish. Well, I'm tech related. I mean, the game is 10 a.m. Or noon for you Eastern folks. That I intend to be back. We'll do some more of this carving down, because you can see it's still a little on the lumpy side in the zone where we've chopped down the trees. So hopefully we'll get some of that going. And we've got enough materials coming in that we could easily start building the monastery out of the basic materials off the land, and then we're considering whether or not we want to quartz whitewash it or whatever as we go. Well, one of the things that we weren't clear on, Zim, when Stormy was talking about the Discord session, is initially several people said, oh, I thought you meant about streaming on Discord, which is not something a lot of us do, so some people skipped the session because that's what they thought it was about. And really, they were just using Discord as the means of being able to get together so that they could actually all talk at the same time, rather than something more complicated. Yes, and thank you to everybody for geeking out with us, for sure. The Geek Out shall remain for a while. If, as I mentioned earlier, if it became too popular, we might throw it on as a low points redeem, or a clues redeem, considering a few of you are doing very well at getting a clue. But to start with, I think for at least the remainder of the week, it'll stay as an exclamation point piece. And the mods will still have their exclamation point pieces that they can trigger when it comes to the 6th category, the blank one. But that's all good. Alright, so I'm going to call it here. We'll just stand over by the box. There we go. So thank you everybody for hanging out with me. That was awesome. Let's get that raid started to Stormy, and we'll end up on the end screen, and we'll be able to say our thanks to everybody. As I do that, let's hit this one for those of you that haven't seen it, and see. Oh. Okay.
Mischief managed.
There we go. So for those of you that wish to use the raid message, go right ahead and copy the part between the quotes. You've got the two versions there, the sub version or the global version with the pickaxe and such, or any emotes that you find appropriate. Do give Stormy my best. I will be joining you very shortly. Just got a couple little tiny things to tidy up from the Lego and I will be seeing you very soon. So once again, thanks to the mods, to Fantastic Sherlock Fox, and to Benson for coming by. Thank you to James as well, and to Obo Zim for hanging out. We had a few others. We had some good names. Where are we here? Okay. Yep. So we had ITT Tom hanging around for a little while. We had CJ hanging around earlier. So yeah, if there's anyone that we mentioned that was just... Oh, and Poodle Pirate, I forgot that they were here. My apologies to them. And to Scrublord as well. And Bacon, nobody can forget Bacon. Woo! Anyway, so if your name wasn't called and you were hanging out in the stream, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I appreciate anybody who's willing to take the time to hang out and to enjoy a little bit of Lego time and some, more importantly, the Minecraft time. So have yourselves a fantastic evening, enjoy, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.